Imagine walking into the biggest movie rental store in the world. Thousands of movies, thousands of TV shows, millions of customers. Then imagine someone walks in with a website. No stores, no shelves, no employees behind a counter. Just one simple promise. We'll mail movies directly to your house. Sounds ridiculous. Yet that tiny idea eventually destroyed an industry worth billions of dollars. Today, over 250 million people around the world open the same Red app almost every day. They don't think about DVDs. They don't think about Blockbuster. They don't even think about television. They simply press play. But Netflix didn't just change how we watch movies. It changed Hollywood. It changed television. It changed the internet. And perhaps most importantly, it changed human behavior. This is the story of how one company built one of the biggest entertainment empires in history. The problem no one noticed. Let's talk about Elon. Elon loves movies. Back in 1998, watching a movie wasn't simple. After work, he drove 20 minutes to the nearest rental store. He walked through endless shelves, hoping the movie he wanted wasn't already rented. He waited in line, paid the rental fee, and drove home. But the worst part came later, returning it. If Elon forgot, he paid late fees. Sometimes those late fees cost more than the movie itself. It happened again and again. Millions of people accepted this as normal because nobody imagined a better system. Until Netflix asked one simple question. What if renting movies didn't require a store? The first big idea. Instead of building thousands of locations, Netflix built one website. Customers browsed online, picked a DVD, and Netflix mailed it directly to their homes. No driving, no waiting in line, no searching empty shelves. Even better, no late fees. You simply returned it whenever you finished. Felt almost magical. First, people laughed. Who wants movies in the mail? But slowly, customers realized something. Convenience beats habit. Every single time. Why Blockbuster didn't see it coming. Now here's the interesting part. Blockbuster wasn't a small company. It was enormous. Thousands of stores, millions of customers, billions in revenue. They believed people loved visiting stores. And for years they were right. But success creates comfort. Comfort creates blindness. Blockbuster kept improving stores. Netflix improved the experience. Those sound similar. They're completely different. One improved yesterday. The other built tomorrow. The subscription revolution. Then Netflix made another decision. Instead of charging customers for every movie, they charged one monthly fee. Watch as much as you want. No penalties. No late fees. No surprises. Imagine going to a buffet. Instead of paying for every plate, you pay once and eat whatever you like. People loved the simplicity. And Netflix discovered something powerful. Predictable monthly income. Instead of wondering how many movies people would rent, they already knew next month's revenue. That gave Netflix something priceless, stability. The internet changed everything. Then something happened that changed the world. The internet became faster. Much faster. Movies no longer needed DVDs. They became digital. Most companies saw faster internet. Netflix saw the future. Instead of mailing discs, they started streaming movies instantly. No shipping, no waiting, no returns. Just click, play, watch. Felt impossible. A 2-day delivery became 2 seconds. That single change transformed the entire business. The biggest gamble. But streaming created a new problem. Netflix didn't own most of the movies. It licensed them. That meant studios could remove them at any time. Imagine building a restaurant where someone else owns all the food. One day, Netflix realized something terrifying. If studios stopped cooperating, the business could disappear. So they made one of the boldest decisions in entertainment history. They started making their own shows. Many people thought it was a terrible idea. Netflix wasn't Hollywood. It wasn't a movie studio. It was a tech company. Or so everyone believed. The show that changed everything. Then came one series, House of Cards. Instead of releasing one episode every week, Netflix released the entire season all at once. People watched one episode. Then another. Then another. Hours disappeared. A new word entered everyday conversation. Binge watching. Television had always followed schedules. Netflix let viewers create their own. For the first time, the audience controlled television, not the network. The data advantage. Here's something most people never think about. Netflix doesn't just know what you watch. It knows when you pause, when you stop watching, which shows you finish, which trailers you ignore, which genres keep your attention. Imagine owning a bookstore where every customer tells you exactly which page they stopped reading. That information becomes incredibly valuable. Netflix uses millions of viewing habits to understand what audiences enjoy. Not to predict every hit, but to improve recommendations and guide future decisions. The more people watched, the smarter the platform became. Going global. Then Netflix looked beyond America. Instead of serving one country, it wanted the world. But every country had different languages, different cultures, and different tastes. So Netflix changed again. Instead of forcing American content everywhere, it invested in local creators. Spanish dramas, Korean thrillers, Indian action films, Japanese anime, German mysteries. Shows made for local audiences suddenly became global sensations. A series created in one country could become the #1 show across dozens of others. Entertainment no longer had borders. The algorithm. Many people think Netflix recommends random movies. It doesn't. Imagine walking into a library with 50,000 books. Finding something would take hours. Netflix solves that problem using recommendations. Every time you watch something, the system learns a little more. Not perfectly, but enough to make choosing easier. The goal isn't just helping you watch. It's helping you never leave. The secret business model. Here's something fascinating. Netflix doesn't earn more money because you watch longer today. You already paid the monthly subscription. Its real goal is making sure you come back next month. Every recommendation, every original show, every notification, every new release works toward one simple objective: reducing cancellations and keeping customers subscribed. That's why one great series can be worth billions, not because of one weekend, but because it keeps millions of people paying every month. When everyone copied Netflix, eventually the rest of the industry noticed. Disney launched streaming. Warner launched streaming. Paramount launched streaming. Apple launched streaming. Everyone wanted to become the next Netflix. But here's the catch. Starting a streaming service is easy. Building decades of customer trust, original content, technology, recommendations, global infrastructure, and hundreds of millions of subscribers isn't. Netflix had spent years building advantages competitors couldn't copy overnight. The lesson. Most people think Netflix won because it had better movies. That's only part of the story. Netflix won because it removed friction. It made entertainment easier, faster, simpler, more personalized. People rarely switch because something is cheaper. They switch because something feels easier. That's true in almost every business. The companies that eliminate effort usually win. Final message. Netflix didn't invent movies. It didn't invent television. It didn't invent the internet. What it did was connect all three at exactly the right moment. Every generation experiences companies that quietly change everyday life. Not with one dramatic invention, but with hundreds of small improvements. Watching whatever you want, whenever you want, now feels completely normal. Yet 20 years ago, it sounded impossible. That's how real innovation usually works. It doesn't arrive all at once. It slowly becomes ordinary until one day you can't imagine life before it. So the next time you open Netflix, ask yourself one question. Are you simply watching a movie? Or are you looking at one of the greatest business transformations of the modern world? Because sometimes the biggest empires aren't built by creating something new. They're built by making everyday life so much easier that the old way quietly disappears forever.